Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rum and Regret podcast. I am Andy Drake.
Johanna Myers.
Nate Tussey, and we drink and we know things.
We are blessed to be with greatness tonight. Once again, joining us for a full Ahsoka review, Grand Moff Skott Bennett.
Oh, wow. You put him in the Empire.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'll take it.
So Scott and I used to work together at the radio stations, and when we were sat next to each other, found out Scott was a huge Star Wars nerd, just like myself, probably more than myself. And Scott was lucky enough to marry in.
Andy.
I know.
Once I've told you
He wins though.
Yeah. And then Scott was lucky enough to marry into a film family, and his sister-in-law just happens to have directorial credits on Ahsoka's episode 2 and 3. So we're gonna discuss some Ahsoka tonight with Scott. Get his thoughts on everything, how it stands for Star Wars, and we're just gonna jump into it. If I didn't say so already, it's Tuesday. No, it's Wednesday. New recording day.
September 6th.
September 6th. It's been a while since we've gotten together. But yeah, let's just sort of jump into it and go. So, Scott, as our guest, I know that there's stuff you can't talk about because of the SAG-AFTRA strike, but as a Star Wars fan, and we're 4 episodes into Ahsoka so far, and you watched Rebels, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I watched it, and then in the horrible summer of 2020, where we were all stuck inside for a while, I rewatched it.
Nice.
So it's, and then I've gone back to an episode here and there. But big fan.
Right.
Love Rebels.
Okay. Yeah, I know Nate watched it. I watched a couple episodes here and there. I fell off
3 times.
Yeah.
Watched the whole series 3 times.
I know.
Twice without it.
Yeah, I fell off. I actually had to watch the little 20-minute recap before I started Ahsoka, just to make sure I remembered what I remembered and everything.
If it's the same one I showed Addie, they did a great job.
It was
distilling a lot.
Right.
But.
Yeah, and I'm glad I did, because I would not have picked up on any of the nuance or anything in the episode so far.
We
Joe,
should talk about that later. I love that there's someone part of this conversation who didn't watch Rebels and just has kind of a passing knowledge of it. I think I got questions.
Joe.
Joe
has even less.
Joe is
So I watched maybe the first episode of Clone Wars.
Okay.
And that's about it.
Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, like I know who Ahsoka is. I know who she trained under Anakin. I know the whole Snips thing, but that's kind of about it.
You watched Mando though, right? Episodes of Mando where she's in.
For sure.
So then at least you're current on
on where she is, and
so when we get into certain characters, I'm like, who's that? Okay, I get a lot through osmosis from knowing you guys and being a nerd.
Yeah.
But just saying, I have not watched the whole Clone Wars, Rebels, all that. So
yeah,
cool.
So Scott, I just kind of want to pose this question to you. So far, 4 episodes in, what do you think of the series overall so far?
Wow. So so far it's been super enjoyable. There's been some top tier Star Wars moments for sure.
Yeah.
And there's a few things just on a surface level, if you know nothing about it and you're skimming by, and even if you just look at the marketing for it, it's the first Star Wars where human isn't centered in the story,
right?
Let alone at this point anyway, all the protagonists and the principal villain until Thrawn shows up, they're all female, right?
Right.
So it's gonna be different just from that alone. Story wise, I love what they're doing. I know that the first episode and a half, I'd say, a lot of exposition, a lot of people you have to learn, who they are, what they care about, why it matters. And that's hard to pull off.
Right.
But once the table was set, it was let's go.
Right.
So I love the casting. I think and this is again where I want to talk to you and Joe. I can't watch the show without thinking about Rebels.
Yeah.
So the casting 100%. Lines up for me because of my history. Yeah. So I wonder if that's the same for folks that haven't seen Rebels. I wonder a lot about folks that haven't seen Rebels. Not like I'm judging them, except I am. But I wonder about their experience with the show, which is something I really want to get into today.
Yeah.
I think these are some of the most compelling villains we've had in a long time. Balin and Shin, fascinating. And of course, God, I love, going back to Clone Wars lore, the fact that they made Morgan Elsbeth the Night Sister.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
That was such a cool drop. Oh my God.
Yeah. Love that. So there's that too. Compelling villains make for a good story. This is a good story. And I'm on board. And I love how, I don't know how they're going to cram all this into, what is it? 9 episodes?
8 episodes. Yeah. We're halfway.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know how they're gonna, because we had a big reveal in episode 4. We can get to that,
right?
And we haven't even gotten to the big bad guy yet,
right?
Yeah. The big blue in the room.
Although they're on their way, so
they're on their way.
Yeah, next week should be a banger too.
Yeah.
So it's much like any of these Star Wars shows. I want to get to the end of the season and think about it for a while.
Right.
I think the last time we chatted, I was kind of in the afterglow of Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And then with time, some things kind of shifted around. But in terms of how I felt about parts of it.
Yeah.
But this is I don't know, with the setup they have so far, it would shock me if it went off course. So knock on wood.
Yeah. And you brought up a good point here, just really quickly about Book of Boba Fett. Was your character in the cafe when it blew up?
As far as I know, we never went anywhere else.
Okay. So. All right. So right now,
nobody stays dead in these things, especially if they die off screen.
That's true. So
unless you see the body.
Book of Boba Fett season 2, we could get Force Ghost Skott Bennett, is what you're saying.
He was a secret Jedi all along.
Exactly.
Just happened to get blown apart.
I mean, great. Just
the last time I was on the podcast, the screen grab that you guys picked for the cover was so funny. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was really. So.
Yeah, well, because you posted all those pictures and you had that really good, clear picture of you, but then there was the one where you're just blurry in the middle of the two characters. I was just like, I can't not use that one.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's go to Nate. Nate, what do you think of this so far? Without getting sort of too in the woods, let's get a general impression, and then we can really dig in, because I have notes.
Sure. Yeah. I'm so in love with this show.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a huge, obviously we're all huge Star Wars nerds, but a huge Clone Wars and Rebels specifically. And specifically because of my daughter and bringing her up through all that stuff too. Like I didn't really force her to watch it. It's, the Rebels is a cartoon, and we went to rewatch it before. I mean, it's not really a cartoon. It's animated, whatever. Yeah. I've had to split that hair with non-nerds several times, so I don't want to make sure we're getting that right. But in prep for Ahsoka, we started watching Rebels again, and man, I forgot how good that starts. Like how quickly it engages the story, and you're off. Like it just from jump, it's amazing. There isn't really, so Clone Wars is crazy wide and long as far as the runs, and there's a lot of things you could skip if you want to do like a machete order and get all the high points.
Sure.
I wouldn't, because I have to absorb all of it, but you can. Yeah. Rebels doesn't really have a lot of that. Like pretty much every episode, even though they do have, like Monster of the Week kind of thing or Fetch Quest of the Week kind of thing, pretty much everything folds back into itself and pays itself off. And it's like, that's Filoni's masterpiece, really. Right.
Yeah.
And there's so much that, I mean, Clone Wars obviously too, but specifically with Rebels and the way that they handle it. All that to come back to Ahsoka, and the first 2 episodes are basically the end of Rebels,
right?
With, you know, like cutting back and forth.
Yeah.
Where they literally shot for shot from the end of Rebels, they have, you know, like Ahsoka's ship flying over the tower, the radio tower that Sabine is staying in.
Right.
And then at the end of episode 2, when Sabine touches the mural, which is literally ripped from the end of Rebels,
right.
that scene is the same. And turning around and seeing Ahsoka with her hood up, it's the same. So they're really folding in the like Uber fans and the people that are going to go like, oh, you know, do the little Leonardo DiCaprio meme like 80 times an episode. And then also making it its own thing that is just, God, the music is fantastic.
Yeah.
The pacing, the combat, everything is amazing. And specifically with number 4, I think it's like some of the best Star Wars we've ever seen.
Sure.
And I'll just, without getting too far in the weeds, even though I did, that's
no, actually, honestly, that was really good. So Joe, what do you think of Ahsoka so far as a non-Rebels watcher?
I dug it because like I've watched. I got the end of was it Boba Fett where she came in. So, and I've seen enough of Clone Wars to know who she is and know she's Anakin's Padawan.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, going from that, I'm like, I get enough of it.
Okay.
This was awesome to watch.
Okay.
I totally lost that it was Rosario. It was always like Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Like she did an amazing job.
Embodies the character.
Right. Yeah.
And the Night Sisters.
Yeah.
Because like I know from osmosis of the Night Sisters, and I've been waiting to like Goth Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah.
Deep cut. So
yeah.
The Night Sisters, like back in the day, like in the 90s when we had like no Star Wars media at all, say for like I mean no, we had novels, we had comics. That was it. There was a whisper of a prequel at that time or a special edition or anything. And so those of us of a certain age, the thing that kept us going were these novels, and I read all those damn things.
Yeah.
And I remember the introduction of the Night Sisters very vividly. It was in a book called The Courtship of Princess Leia, and it was literally the story of how Han and Leia like went off on a side quest.
I was going to say, what's the cover look like? Is it like a very Fabio on a horse, like
bit.
on a tauntaun with Leia?
But I remember that the Night Sisters were one of the villains, and at one point they capture Han Solo, and I remember this really like graphic description of one of the ways that they were torturing Han was making his molars in his mouth like explode with the dark side of the Force.
Oh God!
You know, like dark side dentists.
Yeah.
No, it was really messed up. But they go the concept of the Night Sisters goes way back, and then you know getting Clone Wars villain Night Sister who redeems herself. Oh, help me, Nate.
Asajj Ventress.
Making her a night sister.
She's Count Dooku's apprentice.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. She's like a night sister in exile. What a Filoni masterstroke. And I love how he pulls those threads from the stuff that isn't canon anymore, and the tropes that we're very familiar with, like the training sequence in Episode 3. With I can't even see, how am I supposed to fight? And then minutes later, running into the gun well, like all that stuff. And I know that's something that the wonderful and friendly people who talk about Star Wars online get upset about is like, why do we have to go to Tatooine again? And they did this, and that was in another movie, and blah blah blah. Yeah. And it's like, no, it's. And I'm not going to do the it rhymes thing. I know everyone thinks I leaves that, but it's, I don't know. To me, that's not lazy. That is grounding people in the universe
Yeah.
and the experience. And so things that are familiar callbacks, it just makes I don't know. I don't see those things as cop out. I
Sure.
love those moments, not as just like fan bait, but more as, these people are living in the same time to the same experiences, and they're going to repeat certain things. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
No.
So my introduction to the Night Sisters was through Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a really great. I mean, like, because I didn't watch Clone Wars, and before when I was playing Fallen Order, I hadn't watched Rebels yet, so I had no backstory for the Night Sisters at all. So that was really cool, just through that experience, to learn about them. And then again, when Rebels came in, and then now this, it's just like it's really exciting. Yeah, just to explore this part in live action and have it, not that it wasn't part of canon before, but have it be more part of, part of it. It's now it's here. Now it's more realized than anime or a video game reference.
One more creepy.
I was just gonna go
nightmare fuel detail that I love about the Night Sisters is that there's the episode in the Clone Wars where
are you going to talk about Darth Maul? Because that's what I was about to say.
No, I'm going
go.
I'm going to let you take Darth Maul. Just the fact that when a Night Sister dies or dies in battle, they don't bury them. They put them in a sack and then tie the sack to a tree and just let it hang down like rotting witch fruit. It is just like the I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
You see those in the first
more Night Sisters content, please.
Yeah, right.
Please.
So, Mike Hook has said. So I guess let me dovetail with that. So you actually see those sacks in the first Fallen Order game,
right?
When you go to Dathomir to get like the double-bladed saber, there's a whole area that has those things hanging from the trees. They don't really explain it very well, but yeah. But then back to the Rebels thing. So if you guys, I know it's a big ask to go back and watch Rebels, although you totally should, instead of like another watch of Supernatural.
Right.
I'm actually ready to go through and watch all this.
Yeah. When you're done with Vox Machina, oh wait, no, Mighty Nine, because you're on
Mighty Nine.
Yeah.
The other, like, one of my favorite episodes, or one of the things you should really watch, there's a quick, I think it's 2 or 3 episode arc where Darth Maul basically comes back into the fold and eventually meets up with his brother and makes his way back to Dathomir, and the Night Sister, like the queen, or not the queen, the leader, the head Night Sister, basically give him special Lieutenant Dan legs out of a bunch of mechanical parts.
You got
and it's
legs.
it's a really great sequence, because before that he's basically like a Drider from D&D, which is like spider body humanoid torso with mechanized legs, which is also super cool. So it's totally worth the watch. But yeah, it was really cool to see that reveal. I really wanted more of the green, like, give me some more green magic smoke instead of just like a Bic lighter colored in post. So
and by the way, just again, I love the fact that she's not just like evil dark side witch. She's also like this like head of a corporation, right?
Right.
She builds ships. She's a warmonger and a war profiteer as well.
Right. Yeah. So let's dig into this. And I don't have anything to say overall that hasn't already been said. So, but like, one thing that grabbed me right off the bat was we got Star Wars crawl again. Mm-hmm. We got a crawl in front of this. I was just like,
good too.
Oh my goodness. Like, this is like, it sort of felt, it felt kind of, hey, I'm back home.
Not only just the crawl into giant ship moment.
No, exactly. So I thought that was cool. Yeah. And then just really quick about the casting too. I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I think she's knocking Harrison Dula out of the park.
Yeah, she does a great job with it.
Yeah.
I need to see more of her though, because she's huge in Rebels.
Right.
So she's a main character.
Yeah, and so, but I have a feeling that it'll sort of blossom into more. So I love that love that Sabine is living in Ezra's old tower.
Yep.
And I know it's probably been too long. I know it's probably a different cat, right? That she's taking care of now.
We don't know how long cats live.
Right. Yeah.
Do we?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's true.
so because I haven't watched, I just saw this as porn cat.
Right.
I want a porn cat.
Oh, we don't talk about pores.
Yeah.
Loath cats are far superior. Jesus.
Okay, well, be that as it may, I need one.
Yes,
Yeah.
you do. So does Addie. She did the same
Oh,
noise,
man.
like the squee when she
Right.
saw the.
Yeah.
It was. They did a great job cutting back and forth between the animatronic and the digital version too. The live action
Right.
one was really great.
Yeah.
Sorry, stupid arrow. I still love you.
I know, right? Yeah. My cat's asleep right behind me right now. Yeah. Luckily she can't hear. No. And just the opening sequence of Ahsoka getting the little relic, the little map relic. I loved it.
Total indie vibes.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Headpiece on the staff of Raw.
Like,
Right.
I want the sack.
Yeah.
Like weighing the sack to the thing.
Right.
Yeah. It did give a little Fifth Element vibes too.
Oh,
with
absolutely.
The
Oh,
postings
yeah,
and then
yeah.
the piece coming out of the middle.
Yeah. Although,
but the moment her entrance into the chamber was.
oh
legit.
man, no,
Like,
doing the turns with
throw
the
down
sabers and everything. Yeah.
Force cut her way through the bottom.
Yeah. So, and I don't know that we need to go sort of scene by scene here, but like what stuck with you guys in the first episode?
I think some of, Rosario's choices and how she is performing Ahsoka. And I know there's been some feedback online about everybody being too stoic in the show. But if you think about, poster child for PTSD,
Oh,
the things that this character has lived through, her mentor, an older brother, what happened to Anakin, and she had she was right there, and yet she missed it all. Like in rewatching the end of Clone Wars, you get that sense where it's like it catches her by surprise, his fall from grace. It's so tragic. Not to mention the entire army that she has bonded with, turning on her during Order 66.
Right.
Yeah, she barely makes it out of there. Too,
yeah,
right?
barely survives that and has to kill a bunch of her, the people who were her friends, 60 seconds ago. So, so that would be enough to mess anybody up. And then, after Clone Wars, like everything that she goes through in Rebels and facing off, there's a really amazing episode where she duels Darth Vader and confronts him on who he actually is and is almost about to be killed by him, but then she gets pulled into something called the World Between Worlds, which you're going to learn a lot about next week because that's
right.
That's four wrapped up. So I'm sorry, getting back to episode 1, I got off track.
That's
Rosario's choices, and I mean, when I'm looking at that, and this is why I want to talk to people who didn't see Rebels. Like, I can't look at her performance and not think about, all the horrible things that she's been through. Oh, the Jedi Order turning their backs on her, thinking that she was a terrorist and, expelling her from the Order and not believing her. All these things, that she's lived through. And so and she hasn't let go of those notes in the performances in the subsequent episodes.
Yeah.
And I have to wonder with where she ends up in episode 4. I'm sorry, I'm jumping that far ahead.
That's okay. No, please. No, we can keep this as open.
Is this the moment where Ahsoka gets her mojo back, from fucking Anakin of all people, right? The way it was supposed to be. And so so I cannot wait to see where this goes next. I think it's going to be from this episode forward, and I could be proven wrong. I think it's going to be a different Ahsoka. I think this is where her character turns a corner, and decides whether she's a Jedi or not, or all these other things that have kind of been the gray area for her.
Yeah.
So I really like her, that kind of strong, silent stoicness. Like, she's not going to show her emotion, but it's all in there. And I know it doesn't make for them like the most dynamic performance, but it makes perfect sense if you know her backstory.
Yeah, well,
she's gonna play her card when she's ready.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love too is, and I've watched a lot of the breakdowns of the episodes here and there, and what I love is that they're shot for shotting some of the older samurai films with this, like they're, and that the whole training sequence with her and Sabine in the ship. Yeah, you know what? Like, we don't need to go episode by episode. Let's just talk about what comes up here, because I have another question directly after this that is going to be in the last episode. But just the training sequence first with Hyung, is that his name?
Huyang.
Thank you. Yeah. David Tennant killing it.
Mac and me droid.
Right. Yes.
Mac and me droid.
Yeah.
So
but then
sorry.
I love it.
No, but then doing the old blast shield training, but then just walking around her and just the slight tap on the shoulder, just like I love that,
like the Miyagi kind
absolutely, yeah. And I just love the fact that we haven't seen Jedi training like this yet. Like, we're getting this now, and I just thought that was really cool. And even
that's so spot on, Andy. That was my I don't want to relitigate the prequels, but that was in all the bonus content around the prequels, the novelizations, the comics, like those moments of training, like it's the stuff I really wish we could have seen a bit more of. And so it's really great to see this kind of brought to life in Ahsoka.
Yeah, and he says it too. He's like, you come from an unconventional line of Jedi, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought that just hit the nail on the head so well. Of like, this is why we're getting this cool training sequence. Like, this is why this is the way that they're approaching this, and we're not gonna see it like we've seen it before, which I just thought was really cool. So, but to your point, in literally the last few frames of Ahsoka that we've all seen right now, that's not a Force ghost, is it?
No.
Nate, do you want to take a stab at explaining the world between worlds?
Yeah. I mean, okay. So basically, it's a way to connect every Star Wars anything ever to each other across space and time.
Okay.
Every Star Wars thing that's ever happened exists, and you can access pretty much anything anytime in this nexus called the world between worlds. There's these bridges and portals and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Star Wars Cosmic Treadmill.
Sure. Yeah.
Sort of. I mean, Filoni said it's not like a time travel type device. You can't like go back in time and change things, or and no, Nate, you can't go forward in time and erase the Last Jedi. I'm sorry. It's.
I'm just saying you can retcon the Last Jedi with this thing.
Yeah.
Which
Please don't.
No, and I think they use it in one of those cute little Lego Star Wars holiday things. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, but it's a way it's a portal into other moments in time.
Okay.
And that's probably how they're going to explain the appearance of Anakin in Rebels. Ezra discovers in a Jedi temple, he discovers a portal to the world between worlds. It's there that he sees that Ahsoka is about to be struck down by Darth Vader, and he pulls her out of that moment, effectively rescuing her. So
from the past, right?
From the
past. That was he escapes that moment because Ahsoka like force pushes him out of the way of a falling temple where she's fighting Vader, and then he never sees that moment at that point in time.
Okay,
and then sees it further along in the series. It's insane.
So it's put in the wrong hands. Like a device like this could really mess up a story. But I think Filoni has rules about about how he's going to use this and what it can and can't do.
Well, as somebody who has not seen Rebels and has no idea what this was, I'm like, they're not going to kill Ahsoka in episode 4, so she's going into this thing. And then once Anakin says, "Hey, Snips," start just fucking crying because I've seen enough of Clone Wars to know that. And I was like, Anakin! And then when I saw him, big crocodile tears. Like,
Yeah, Addie flipped
so-
out twice in that scene. Like the first one was, well, 3 times when Ahsoka got cliff tossed by Balin's, uppercut.
Right.
When she woke up and like the little ripples around her montrails or whatever.
Yeah.
Addie's like, "Wait, is that?" And then she stands up and she's like, "Ah, I fucking called it." And then the moment where she turns around, obviously that was the third one,
Right.
so,
Yeah.
good stuff.
What a moment there where she says Anakin, and you see that joy come back to her, that everything has been pushed down in her performance up until, and even then she only lets it crack through for a minute. But when she says Anakin and she kind of moves towards him, like, it's like, that's what it meant. Like, it's going to be it's like playing a different character from here forward. I think.
Yeah. Well, she evolves at the end of the episode too. When she thinks that Sabine is killed, she, force lifts Shin and throws her into the thing and then goes crazy. And then, Balin responds in kind. But yeah, you're right. It's complete evolution through that episode. I
knew Hayden Christensen was in the show because it was
Right.
announced as part of the cast a long time ago. And there was that trailer with his voiceover. And even when she started to wake up, in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, this is a good moment for Anakin to show up. Even knowing all that stuff, it's still the way it was done caught me by surprise. Like, it was still thrilling, even though I knew it was going to happen. I cannot wait till next week.
Right. Well, and I thought when I heard Hayden Christensen was going to be part of the series, I thought it was going to be like they did in Obi-Wan. Like, I thought it was going to be like flashback, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was gonna, and I would be okay with it too, because I really loved what Hayden did in Obi-Wan Kenobi. I thought that was really good. But anyway, I like, it took me by complete surprise. Like, hey, that's Anakin, and he's not all sparkly glowy. like he's there. Yeah.
And he's old school. Good Anakin. Kind of good Anakin, hopefully.
Oh, no. They played Vader's theme, and he's got Vader's lightsaber.
I know.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what moment in time he was pulled out of. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
Give me 10 minutes of good Anakin.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I know. There's all those stories that didn't happen. But the here's what's interesting about this show for me, or the thing that when I line it up with all the other Star Wars stories. So like every single Star Wars movie, animated series, Disney Plus series, it always comes back to a family. Rey doesn't have a family, and that's what's driving her. Luke is an orphan, a couple, minutes into episode 4, right? And then it's his search for his father that drives him. Even Book of Boba Fett, with its flaws, here's a guy whose only family was murdered right in front of him, and he spent his life as a loner, and then learns to be part of a tribe with the Sand People, and then he wants to, turn, Mos Espa into his family or whatever. So it's always like these people who want to remake their family, be part of a family, find their family. Rebels, the show, is about a family.
Yeah.
Hera is like space mom, and Kanan is space dad, and they're driving around the galaxy and the Ghost, and they are a family. And it's the first time we see an intact family in Star Wars. Now, at the end of Rebels, they all go their separate ways. But what's different about Ahsoka is all those people know what it's like to be a part of a family, and they want to bring it back together again, which is exactly what the audience wants.
Right.
So it's I don't know. I'd be shocked if they didn't hit the landing on this one, or hit the ending.
Yeah.
On that one, because I think that's what makes this show special. And I think that's something that Filoni definitely understands. Look at all the family themes, and even the Mandalorian, of course. But this is a twist. It's a different twist on this, because these people are part of a family, but they're just they've all been scattered to different areas. So we'll see how it goes. But I think that's like this is one of the more emotional pieces of Star Wars media in a long time, and
Right.
and I was trying to like articulate what the emotion under all of it is, and I think that's what it is. I think it's a family that wants to get back together,
Yeah.
and it's driving all of them.
Yeah. Let's talk about the villains right now. Let's talk about Balin and Shin.
Balin is the best.
Dude.
I'm so making that armor.
Yeah.
Especially after we got a full look at what his like full fit is today.
Oh, sure.
In the episode on
Yeah.
part 4. God damn, it's so good.
I love that they're not like they're essentially mercenaries for hire here. Like they're not outright like evil, right? You're slightly distinguishing them as bad with the orange lightsabers, right? You know, and not the full on red lightsabers.
Previous Jedi as opposed to Sith.
Right, yeah, and then but then I love the one line when Morgan is talking to Balin and says you should eliminate Ahsoka, and he says there are so few Jedi left, right? Like
shame.
it's like
Yeah,
and
right.
it's just like, oh, okay,
Yeah, he's great.
right.
God, I love the character.
His Padawan has the nice little braid
Yeah,
that Anakin had.
Yeah.
So I was like,
It's the Padawan braid. I think she's more on the evil track than he is.
Seems like it.
He has honor. You know, like I give you my word. I won't have any. You know, Anakin spoke highly of you, and they have all of that. And he doesn't want to fight Ahsoka.
Yeah,
he really doesn't, and he just has to. Like he says it in that final in episode 4 when she lights her saber. He's like inevitable, you know, and it didn't have to be this way. Right before he cliffs her, and then when he spares Sabine, and Shin force chokes her from behind, like,
yeah,
you know, release her. I gave her my word, kind of thing. God, I mean,
fascinating character.
Yeah, fascinating. And damn it, if of course now like my favorite Star Wars villain, and unfortunately we no longer have Ray Stevenson.
I know.
God damn it.
Yeah,
you know, what a heartbreak.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about
very beloved among the cast? I did because of my sister-in-law. I did have one opportunity. I didn't know I wasn't on set, but like last time with Boba Fett, but I did get to spend some time with the cast. And this was after Ray had passed, and just hearing the things that they said about him, like the guy just made an impact and was like a blast to be around. And it's just it's such a they're my sense was that they're heartbroken. They love the guy.
Yeah. Oh man, I had a thought and I completely lost it. Okay. No. So in terms of this, I mean, essentially being the continuation of Rebels, and we did get to see Zeb in the last season of Mandalorian.
Right.
Don't you think it would have been natural for him to show up when Hera came with the X-Wings and don't you think he should have been there?
He's part of that 100%. Squadron.
Yeah.
He's part of that squadron, so has some explaining to do. I don't know. It was.
I bet you it's money.
Yeah, probably.
I think it was money
for the CG. Yeah, but still,
or he's going to show up, later. I don't know, but
yeah. I'm scared that he might be like a final episode afterthought.
Like cameo.
I really hope. Well, my worry is that he's going to be like a sacrificial story point, which would really suck because he's such a great character.
Yeah. So I thought, and then where do you guys stand on Sabine Jedi training? Aside from how cool the training sequence was, just that part of it.
Yeah, so she's not Jedi training, in my opinion. Well, so let me back up.
Okay.
Ahsoka is using Jedi training techniques to help her become something greater than what she is, which is just her Mandalorian, punk rock self.
Right. Yeah.
I like the democratization of the Force and the way they've done that in the show so far, where it's like everyone can use the Force. You just have to either have the talent or the discipline or the ability to use it. I loved how the Star Wars neck breathers.
Oh, man.
Sorry, Scott. I'm going to put a little finer point on your very nice commentary earlier. Just freaked out about that. Like, oh my god, she's going to have the Force. Like, come on, guys. It's really, they know what they're doing. Like, if you can trust anyone with a Star Wars story, it's Dave Filoni.
Right.
For the love of God, just put some faith in the man.
Yeah.
And let it run.
But they put women in it.
She's right. You mean the star isn't a white man? I'm out of here. Yeah. Anyway, so
Star Wars not
I love
Star woke.
Right.
I'm sorry, these fucking people.
Yeah.
And
I know. Don't get me started.
channels. Oh my god! If
I really hope they protested Barbie as hard. Like, go woke, go broke. Oh, where did you pass $1 billion like a month ago? Fuck.
I will never understand, and we don't have to spend a lot of time here. But if you see something and you don't like it, just like get on with your life. Don't make it your whole personality.
Yeah.
You can turn it off.
Right.
Yeah. That's the good thing about television.
The problem
you
is
can turn
people
it
are
off.
incentivized to make these angry YouTube videos and get ad revenue from them, and it's a formula that works. And here we are, but good God,
yeah.
That's the cool thing about being old is I can just pretend shit doesn't exist.
Right. Yeah, I kind of straddle that line too, where it's like, don't yuck other people's yum, but be critical of your fandoms.
Sure.
Like, blind faith and blind following you're not being a good fan at that point.
Yeah.
Like, I love everything about this, so I will defend it till my dying breath. Like, that's not the same thing as, just be critical about it, but enjoy it and love it and let other people love their own shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, so back to what was I saying? Sabine, Jedi training.
Right.
Yeah. I love the scene with Hu Yang and the like digital sabers that analyze the cuts, like the angles of the strikes and all that. That was fantastic. Oh, excuse me. I loved his beatdown of the assassin droid.
Oh
at the
yeah,
beginning
that
of
was
episode
great.
4.
Yeah.
I was almost expecting him to bust out a lightsaber. Like, why doesn't this man have his own saber?
Right.
Especially with Ahsoka's collection on the ship. Or at least give him a wooden stick or something. But he even had his little extra arms coming off his back and beating up the assassin droid, which was great.
Yeah.
But in general, I don't think Ahsoka is training her to be a Jedi because I don't think she can be one. I think she's training her to have the discipline and the open-mindedness and the awareness of a Jedi using the Jedi training techniques. And that's going to create something that's greater than the sum of her parts, because being a Mandalorian, she's already a badass as it is,
right?
But Mandalorian with like not being a hothead and Jedi like patience and determination and that kind of thing, that's your better fucking watch out,
right?
Kind of moments there. So that's my 2 cents on
that. My favorite.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
At the end of this, because I have no concept of the storyline. I'm just like, so is she grabbing the map and going to the dark side, or is she grabbing the map did they plan that and she's going to
she wants
inside.
She wants Ezra.
Yeah. She misses Ezra.
She misses Ezra.
That's her. Okay.
Yeah. She feels responsible for his sacrifice, and her drive.
That's her guiding star.
There's nothing like if you like the thing that fuels her character is she wants to go get Ezra.
Right.
Yeah. My favorite meme to come out of the Sabine training is her with the hands in the coffee cup saying, doing what we all did after we saw episode 4.
Yeah. Oh my God. I told Addie that. I don't know how long I spent as a kid trying to move things with my mind.
Right.
She looked at me like I was fucking crazy.
Yeah. And then I know we saw their silhouettes in Mandalorian, but I love the upfront with the Purgles, with the space whales. Yes. I just thought that was very, very cool.
Yeah, they weren't as Technicolor as I thought they'd be, but they were super lifelike. I loved it.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I just thought that point. Let's talk, because I know there have been a lot of crazy theories around who Marok was. The sort of the Inquisitor.
I got one for you.
The Inquisitor. Well, so I guess it's essentially kind of been put to rest because of what happened to him in the last episode, or kind of. So all right. So everybody started losing their shit because he's voiced by Sam Witwer, right? and Sam Witwer was Starkiller in the Force Unleashed video games, but then he was also Darth Maul in Rebels and everything. But then, so like I loved. I was kind of hoping that it was Starkiller. That's who that was. But Nate, what's your crazy theory there?
Yeah, well, not so crazy. I think it kind of proves it what happened in episode 4. But I love the Star Killer thing, with the exception that like Star Killer is so insanely powerful, like can pull Star Destroyers out of the sky. Right. That it was like, based on that, I don't think they'd be able to tone that down. So my bet was going to be on like reanimated Kanan, using like the corpse of Kanan to kind of channel the Night Sister, especially once the Night Sister was brought into it and confirmed.
Right.
It's like, holy shit. Okay. So that's, I mean, we don't know this for sure, but wouldn't that be cool if that was him? And then that was because of this. And
yeah, because they can do that. Because they can reanimate.
They just scooped up Kanan's ashes after. This will come in handy one day.
We never saw the body, and something might have survived. Yeah. You never know.
Yeah.
But we know, if she could grab, force ghosts or whatever. Anyway, long story short, that was Addie and I both had that idea. Like, oh my God, wouldn't that be like a mind bender if it ended up being him?
Yeah.
Here's why I don't think that's the case, because
I agree.
Not spoken of Kanan. They practically cropped him out of the shot of the mural.
Right.
So if you're coming into this, and they have designed the show so you can come into it without having seen Rebels, the fact that he's just has not been talked about at all. It'll be interesting to see with his son, if that changes later on. But yeah, it's I don't know. We'll see.
So animated witch zombie, Jedi zombie, basically,
right?
With the green,
with the green stuff, sort of, shooting out. Yeah. That her kill move was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. One of the coolest kills I've ever seen in Star Wars.
That's very Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Maul, like single stroke. It was great.
Yeah.
Like he just went to town. She was like, chink.
Yeah. I thought that was just the coolest thing. And then even Sabine sort of getting her mojo back against Shin too, with her little wrist rocket fire.
Oh, you have no power moment when the wrist rocket. I have that specifically noted here. Shin versus Sabine. You have no power. Dash pew pew. and then Shin pulls the Batman disappear.
Right. Yeah.
Oh
man. Scott, I know you got to get going. What are the final thoughts on Ahsoka so far? I mean, I know you kind of told us where you're hoping it goes and everything, but like if there's like sort of a quick sort of elevator pitch of like anything else you're looking forward to here, aside from getting Anakin next week.
getting an Anakin episode or whatever we get from him next week. I think it's going to kick off, and I think it's designed to kick off the next onslaught of Star Wars stories that happened in this era.
Yeah.
There's no way shit's going to go down when Thrawn returns, and he will return.
Right.
And we'll be plunged into another galactic conflict that will, some 20 years later, will somehow lead into the Force Awakens, I suppose. But I'm expecting a hell of a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Or like almost like an Empire Strikes Back kind of like melancholic ending. Like maybe everybody's safe, but now shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably where this is headed. I think again, I think it's really smart to make this about a family that wants to come together again, because I think that is going to be paid off. I don't think it's very Lucas-like and Filoni-like to like rip the carpet. Now J.J. Abrams might do that, but
but started on Rain Johnson.
But no, I think I think that's going to be the emotional payoff is these people finding each other again. And so it's just hitting all the right notes for me. There's just it's top tier Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like all Star Wars, none of it's perfect. Even
Right.
Empire Strikes Back has its moments that aren't perfect, but it's, I'm here for the ride, and I think it's really, I don't know, it's leading to somewhere exciting. I don't want to predict the end. I actually want to be surprised by it.
Yeah. No,
I love when Star Wars catches me off guard and surprises me.
Right.
And I'll get back and we'll do a whole Last Jedi discussion.
Yeah.
That scene where Snoke gets cut in half, I'm like, didn't see that coming. Cool.
Right.
Like, I love when they shake things up.
He didn't.
Like so yeah, he certainly didn't.
So
and I'm all over the place with this. but I think there's going to be an emotional payoff, and then I think it's going to set up whatever is in the works. There's probably media like in production right now we don't know about. The Skeleton Crew show's coming up. We
right.
know very little about that other than Jude Law is in it. That's all I know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, when Ahsoka does finish up, we'd love to have you back on to get your thoughts on the series as a whole. Man, no, that would be great just to get your input on it.
Yeah.
So
I would definitely do this.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Guys, Joe, Nate, any other final thoughts on Ahsoka before we let Scott out to do dadly duties?
Go ahead, Joe. I got a ton, so I'm not going to keep him with that.
Oh, Joe, we lost you.
You're muted, Joseph.
Are you muted?
Shoot.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
There. Just one. So technically, as far as the timeline goes, General Hux is alive in somewhere in the universe. We could
baby or not even born yet. I think.
No, his father was in a scene in the last season of Mandalorian.
Right.
Yeah.
He's in the Shadow Council.
So I think that at this point he is a young boy.
We might have a teenage Hux at this point. Okay.
No, because that would put him almost, if he was teenage, he'd be like, 35, 40 during Force Awakens, and I think he's younger than that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He just strikes me as like a 24-year-old tech bro.
Right.
Yeah, he's like a baby. He's a baby fascist right now.
I'm just asking if I'm going to see some Hux at some point.
No, you're not going to see any fucking ginger bullshit.
Damn it.
Keep us out of your fanfic, Joseph.
Right.
That's what I'm here for.
So final thoughts, like some of the pulls on your call, Phoenix leader, when Hera's bugging against everybody else. Just some of those little quotes.
Yeah, using Fulcrum still
fantastic.
in back and forth.
Fulcrum's
I love
great.
that they're doing that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Filoni's writing it, and he's directing the next episode as well. So Scott, that's what I wanted to say. If you can just communicate to your sister-in-law just how awesome episodes 2 and 3 are.
Oh my god,
and just incredible.
So good.
Like
she doesn't do this, but I do. But after a couple days, I went on Twitter and I searched Steph Green Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And to see like the whole like Star Wars community like be for something like
right
and not tear it down was and then have that be someone in my family was just insane. Like some of the I screenshotted so many comments, but like more than a few people are just like, get her a feature film,
right?
Like,
yeah,
like, there's this whole like they're like, and even like people who didn't care for Book of Boba Fett, they're like, she did the best episode of that and the best episode of Watchmen, and now she's done. I'm gonna give her a feature film. I'm like, oh, it's so amazing. So I'll I text her some of this stuff and just like, look, these people love you. It's really cool. I will definitely pass on the love. And again, like I said with Book of Boba Fett, I wasn't, I got to meet some of the people involved in the show through Steph, and these are the people you want working on your favorite story. They all of them love it. They care about it. They're having the best time at work they've ever had. They look after each other. That is my impression of the short time I've spent with all of them. But it is it is it's everything I hoped that working on a Star Wars project would be.
Yeah.
You know, and so this little tiny window I have into that world is kind of reaffirming all those hopes and dreams. So it's I think we're in good hands. I know we're in good hands, but I will pass on the comment to Steph.
Well said,
Cheers.
Skott Bennett.
Yes, please.
Well said.
Huzzah.
Yeah. Dude, Scott, thanks so much for hanging out with us and talking Star Wars, man. I always love getting your input here. And yeah, man, when Ahsoka finishes up, we'll definitely have you back on to talk some more.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, dude, thanks again, man. We'll let you go, do your dad stuff, and we'll talk soon.
All right. May the Force
Thanks again, Scott.
all of you
Yeah.
at the same time in equal.
And also with you.
Yes. And all,
Yeah. At the same time, watch Rebels, you damn heathens.
Right.
all right. Bye, everybody.
Take care,
Cheers,
Scott.
Good night.
Is there a thing I need to do, or like,
No,
I just leave the studio, right?
Yeah, I think
exactly.
I think you're good.
I
Yeah, I
like
think
delete the browser window and blow everything up.
no, yeah, you can just hit leave studio, and I think you're good. So
Okay.
yeah,
We'll find
right.
out. See ya.
Awesome, man. Take care, Scott.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. And it blows up. No, all right.
Right. That's always so great.
I know. I've
like he has a tiny window, and we get like this little porthole,
Yeah.
like, through the toilet paper tube.
well, and it's funny too because I forget how much of a Star Wars fan he is. I mean, I know in the back of my head how much of a Star Wars fan he is, but I just forget. And he has just so much knowledge around the entire universe, and now he has that little extra. Just being so close to it now.
A little extra street cred.
Right. Which is incredible. Do we have anything more to say on Ahsoka before we move into segments, or do we think?
I just wanted to call out a couple of quick moments, just like one from each episode. So, so episode 1, the intro to Sabine, and her on her speeder with her Lothcat helmet and the music going. Like they need to show more of her as that punk Sabine, because that's who she was in the Rebels, and it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like this punk Mando artist that tagged Imperial ships and shit. It was fucking great.
Yeah.
Love that. And I love the fact that they brought back the voice of Ryder Azadi from Clone War, or from the Rebels animated series, to play the governor. The same actor,
Clancy Dan Brown, man.
Clancy Brown plays the governor in the first episode, which is great. So obviously in episode 2, we kind of get the reveal that Elspeth is kind of a Night Sister kind of person, but there's also that really great thing about them checking up on the shipyards. Wanted to make sure that that stuff is on the up and up, and then there's obviously a bunch of Rebel or Empire sympathizers for the Empire kind of moment.
Like what were they looking to do at that point? Like, just shut up, do your job, and you keep the damn thing going. Like, come on.
Well, they were, the jig was up.
Right, yeah.
So they had to kind of do that. Let's see. So the third one is when they go to check out what's happening on that planet, and basically get bushwhacked and grounded after the reveal of the Eye of Zion, which is fucking insane.
Oh yeah.
And then the episode 4, I can't say this enough. This is like a perfect Star Wars for me. It literally, across everything that's come out, as far as Star Wars TV goes, this might be the best episode of Star Wars TV we've ever seen.
Sure.
I like, the music is insane. The combat, the pacing, the visual effects. I can't get enough of it. Like the moment when Ahsoka and Sabine are fighting together outside of the ship, when they're like mixing powers up, and Ahsoka is force moving people in front of blasters, like, just fucking dope. But the fight between Ahsoka and Baylan is like one of my favorite things that I've seen in a long time, because they're like long in the tooth fighters that are basically like, one's a samurai, one's like a medieval knight almost with his style, and they're like switching stances without even like attacking each other yet. And I absolutely am obsessed with Baylan. Like this character, because he was a Jedi, lost his faith, Anakin spoke highly of you, like all of the lines that he's had so far have been just like, he was crushed about the way things have gone, and he blames Ahsoka for it.
Right.
And the interesting thing, like what Scott was talking about, how Ahsoka is going to evolve moving forward, I think he's right on. And one of the things we didn't mention is that in between Rebels and this, I guess, I don't remember where I missed this, but apparently Sabine's family was killed in between these things. So she still has, like, Clan Ren is still a thing.
Yeah.
At the end of Rebels. But no, not anymore.
Right.
Because apparently Ahsoka might be partially responsible for that because of what happens, like because of their split.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to address that, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we can move on. I'm obsessed.
Okay.
I watched it again today with Addie.
Yeah.
Episode 4 deserves a rewatch. It's so good.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's move on to segments. And Joe, let's talk the horror corner.
All right. So horror corner. We're getting we got a poster for Eli Roth's Thanksgiving.
I can't wait for this.
And we're gonna get a trailer tomorrow.
Best subtitle ever. What was it, like? There will be no leftovers.
Yeah,
there's no leftovers.
So check the.
I can't wait for this.
Check the Rub and Regret social accounts. We will be reposting that trailer.
Oh yeah, for
to our heart's content, for sure. Yeah,
cannot freaking wait.
Yeah,
and hopefully this will. Like, you know, we got Machete. Now we're getting Thanksgiving.
Right, yeah.
Maybe we'll get Don't.
That's right.
Maybe we'll get Werewolf Woman of the SS.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
I watched The Pope's Exorcist, which you did too, Andy.
Yes, yeah. So so this was fun. So I had no clue about this movie whatsoever, right?
Didn't we talk about this in the last one?
No, we didn't. Yeah, no, we didn't.
Just the chat.
Yeah, just the
chat.
Yeah. And so we were watching it on the weekends, and on the weekends we partake in the rum, of course. And so we watched, because we're getting older, we're watching everything with subtitles on now, just so we don't miss anything, right? And so anyway,
right.
We
do too. It's fine.
Right. Yeah. So I noticed after the first 10 minutes of the movie that ominous music playing comes up quite a bit. So we decided to make a little drinking game out of it. And anytime ominous music playing came up, we took a drink. And spoiler alert, comes up quite a bit during the movie. So we were nice and toasty. That being said, I really like this movie. Like,
it was so good.
Yeah. Russell Crowe, like playing the sort of the exorcist,
quirky exorcist dude. Like he reminded me of Padre.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, oh my god, I love him.
Yeah, but no, like the guy who's been doing his job too long, just like one day too long, and has like all of the little quips and everything that comes with it, but then gets thrown into like the worst possible situation ever.
And then you want that kind of guy,
right?
Has done his job a lot.
Yeah, well, and I love that when he gets to the house where the kid is and the other priest is there, and and he's having the conversation with the Pope anyway, of basically like, these young kids haven't seen evil, like they don't know what it is. They don't, they've just heard the stories and they don't believe it, and they're never going to believe it until they actually see it, until they actually witness it. And like, it was such a good sort of like footprint of today, of like what's going on. Right. It's like, you haven't seen this stuff. Like, you don't know, like, and it's just, I just thought it was great. And yeah, just the back and forth between Russell Crowe and the young priest, I thought was great. The fucking kid that gets possessed, man.
Oh God, that kid! Holy shit!
Knocked it out of the park.
Oh my God, he really killed it.
Yeah,
and also, please, somebody put money in his therapy account.
Oh God,
because holy shit!
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nate, this is actually a decent watch if you want to take it on. It's a good.
There's humor.
Yeah,
and
like, yeah, like
it's not. it's not gross and terrible.
Yeah.
Like it's
How many side
it's
kittens
like
are we giving it?
Yeah.
How many side kittens?
This is
Come
a
on
so-
now.
like this is like a 4 or 5 side kitten, maybe.
Out of 5?
No,
No, or
No,
we,
out of like
we do a
10.
10 scale. Yeah.
4 side
Yeah.
kittens out of 10?
It wasn't that gory. Like,
Oh,
come on.
on the gore level. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's not gory at all. I mean, overall movie, like this is an 8.5 side kittens.
Oh no,
out
this
of
is
10.
8.
Yeah.
Like no, I'm saying gore level.
Oh, yeah.
Side kittens, it's like 4 or 5. But on the the how good the movie is, this is an 8.
Yeah. No.
For sure.
Mike Edmondson, Gina's husband, actually watched it, and he can't.
Just Gina's
Just
husband?
Gina's husband. Yeah, he can't. He can't stomach horror movies at all. So like, that's your benchmark. Like, if he can watch it and sit through it, like you're gonna be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No problem.
The ending was a little kind of for me, just because it was the typical like we're gonna try to make sequels out of this, but it was so ham-fisted. I was like, that's the only critique on this movie for me. I was like,
yeah, I didn't.
I will watch 118 episodes of this movie,
Right.
but oh, that was just the last little
Yeah.
ham-fist.
Right. Well, and I mean, and it's like this could have been a prequel, almost a prequel to Evil, the series, in a way, like because what Evil does with the team that they're doing, they go out and investigate these weird stories, right? These weird things, and it really gave me that sort of vibe. It's like this could have been the prequel to Evil, and I know that this movie was based off of a book of a priest's book of exorcisms that he has witnessed. And so I don't know, like, I was getting those vibes from Evil as well. So like I wonder if Evil took inspiration from this book as well, because like I said, there were again, just sort of the beat of the investigation, trying to go out and see that if it's real or not. And then seeing what they've all dealt with before. Anyway, we can,
and it has similar to that, and also like Conjuring.
Yeah,
Conjuring,
exactly.
right.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, but no, I love this movie. I thought it was great, and the drinking game just sort of enhanced it.
And like, I will watch Russell Crowe be a weird old priest every day.
Oh yeah,
of the week.
Oh,
he
totally.
He killed it.
Yeah,
totally killed it.
Yeah.
So next, I finally watched Spiral. It's not the last of Saw, but it was the Chris Rock Saw.
Right. Yeah. How was that?
It was good-ish.
It was a movie.
Right. Yeah.
If you like Saw, you will probably like this movie.
Okay.
It's
riveting.
Right. Yeah.
What a rousing endorsement.
I know. The sell on this is
I'm not selling
it's
this
not
very
so good. It's not so good.
No, it's good if you want to watch a Saw movie with Chris Rock.
Yeah. Okay.
Holy shit. That's a very small
Right.
demographic.
Yeah.
I think the Venn diagram is
Yeah.
not really overlapping at all.
Oh man.
It's basically the buddy cop version of Saw.
Okay. All right.
So
cool. That actually sells it. No, that actually sells it much better
Right.
for me.
Yeah.
Actually, Nate, you should watch this.
He's getting too old for this
Well-
shit. Let's go.
But like Chris Rock was great in it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spoil it, but like his dad is amazing.
Okay.
The traps are okay-ish.
Okay.
Like it's they don't give enough time for the traps. It's
okay. That makes sense.
I want to play a game. here's your game.
Yeah.
You have 30 seconds to do your game and then you're done. It's like, wait, no, like, come on. You got to give them a little bit more time to figure out the trap before you kill them. So, like that, yeah.
Okay.
On that note, it's a good movie, but there's flaws to it.
Yeah.
But it's on Hulu. It's free if you have Hulu. So, I mean, and it's like an hour and 50 minutes. So,
okay.
Give it a watch. Chris Rock is actually really awesome in it. So.
All right. Okay.
I give it a 5 to 6 on the 10 scale.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Anything else for the horror corner?
I don't think so. I think we're good.
From the whole month of August, Joe, it's been lean.
Well, I have a
lean month.
So I'm sorry. I've been binge watching Critical Role for the last
there you go.
forever.
Is that your shirt, by the way?
That
You're
is
wearing
my
Molly
shirt.
Mog?
Nice.
This is my Molly Mock shirt.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can segue. Staying on Hulu with The Werewolf Within, which is a really funny sort of comedy horror movie. And Jamie and I watched this sort of on a whim last weekend. It was really, really funny. Like, it was well written. It's got Sam Richardson, who plays the he played the really rich African guy in Ted Lasso that was trying to poach him for the league. Miana Von Trub, the AT&T girl, is also in it.
Squirrel Girl.
Yeah. Right. And then Harvey Guillen from What We Do in the Shadows, Guillermo, is also in it as well. And this is it's a great movie. Like, it's so much fun. It's like I said, it's well written. The pace in it is really, really good. But it's your basic new guy comes into a sort of a very small town and sort of exposes like the weird stuff that's happening in there, and then it all goes to hell. But it was a really, really, really fun watch. So this is again, Nate, this is like really like chill horror. If you want to, it's more comedy than horror, and it just really plays on the genre. So yeah, I would highly recommend that one. So with that, we can go into the R&R watch list. And I'll stay on Hulu for a little bit. Only Murders in the Building has started back up again. And I think all the episodes are out right now, but we're only 3 or 4 episodes in, and it's really good so far. Paul Rudd plays a jerk sort of actor, and he's fantastic. And then obviously Steve Martin Short, fantastic in it so far.
Yeah, I can't believe I haven't watched this show, considering what a huge fan of both of them I am. Yeah, I need to get
both the seasons 1 and 2 are really, really great. This is season 3 that they're on right now, and it's just it's fantastic. What We Do in the Shadows is I think it's season 4 or season 5 right now. But I think we're only halfway through it as well, and this season is fantastic so far. Like, I mean, some of the episodes have been like spit your drink out, laugh out loud, funny, so good. So definitely check that out. Another movie that just came out on Hulu was Vacation Friends 2. This is the sequel, the John Cena Little Rel. A movie came out I think 2 years ago where they meet up on a vacation. And like Cena and his wife are like crazy people, but they end up becoming like the best of friends, but they're like the worst friends to have in basically any situation. So the second movie came out, they added Steve Buscemi on top of it, and it's fantastic. So definitely look into that. I meant to mention this on our last podcast, but I completely forgot because I was the Lower Decks animated crossover just came out, so I was I was sort of blind by that. But CW Superman and Lois, like, had you told me that this season was going to end on a Superman doomsday fight on the moon to Soundgarden's blow up the outside world.
Are you fucking serious? Why would you spoil that?
You should have stopped me, man, while I was talking. But hot damn.
Okay. I'm so far behind on that show.
Okay.
I'll forget by the time I
Yeah, you will. But man.
Spoilers for people who haven't seen it.
So crazy, so incredible.
That's awesome.
Another show that's on that you guys need to watch. Miracle Workers. They're doing their Mad Max End Times season, and it's fantastic. Daniel Radcliffe.
What is Miracle Workers?
So it's an anthology series. It's Daniel Radcliffe, Steve Buscemi. It started where they were basically the angels, doing all of like performing all the miracles for everybody on Earth. But now they've done different, obviously the anthology series. So they've done different versions. They did a medieval version. They did last season was the Oregon Trail. And so this season is End Times, and it's basically the Mad Max version of Miracle Workers, and it's fantastic. Like Radcliffe and Buscemi seem to be having like so much fun on this show. It's so good. It's such a fun watch. It's a half-hour show, and it's just great. Like it's so silly. I can't say enough good things about it. That being said, let me move on to Paramount Plus. Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Dude, this season 2, so
fucking cliffhanger. God damn it.
Yes. Yes.
I was so pissed that was the end of the season.
So I know doing your classic Trek like end season. Oh man, so good. I love the musical episode. I love the self-aware,
so much better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny too because and Buffy sort of like set the standard for that self-aware musical episode that you kind of need to have. And when you're in Star Trek, like I don't know that you can do just a straight up musical episode. You need it to be sort of self-aware, like, hey, we're singing in a, and I just thought it was done so well. One small little tidbit, Kay Hanley and Tom Pulse wrote all the music for it. They were from my favorite 90s alt band Letters to Cleo. So like totally great little tidbit, like because I saw her post on Instagram the next day. Like it was such an honor to write all the music. I'm like, holy crap, like 90s alt Andy. Oh my god,
Andy's brain just exploded.
Right.
In that
Yeah.
moment.
And then dude, just like K-pop Klingons, like come on. It was so great. Yeah. It was so good. But so much fun. Let's move over to Peacock. And this show surprised me so much, I guess just because I had very low expectations for it. But Twisted Metal is a great, great show. Like,
really?
Dude, Anthony Mackie, like this is the best role that he's ever had. And he plays it so well. And okay, and like Sweet Tooth, the clown from Twisted Metal, physicalized by Samoa Joe, the wrestler, and voiced by Will Arnett. And it works so well. Like it's, and then Thomas Hayden Church plays Agent Stone, the cop. Like, dude, it's such a great show. Like we started watching it and we couldn't stop. Like everything else stopped. And we had to finish the show. And it's just like it comes to a head where they put the game in towards the end, and it's like, dude, it's fantastic. So if you haven't watched it yet, jump on the cock and watch it.
Jesus Christ. Wow. Somebody grab that soundbite.
Let's move over to Netflix really quick. And Fubar with Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is a great series. I don't know if you guys have watched this yet, but
No,
dude,
Jeez.
it's actually
How much time do you have to watch TV? Fucking hell!
What?
I was sick for almost a month, and I didn't get to Arnold Schwarzenegger's series FUBAR.
It's been what? It's been 6 weeks since we've talked.
Holy shit!
You guys could strap in, man. I'm going for the record here.
I mean, I made it through a whole series of Critical Role.
Right.
Yeah, not a month.
Right.
No, I'm kidding.
But no, this is a fun sort of spy thriller little comedy show, and Schwarzenegger's great in it. Supporting cast is amazing. It's a very good watch. Amazon Prime, Good Omens 2 has
Good Omens 2
come and gone, man.
I fucking forgot to watch
This is such a great season. Michael Sheen. It was good. I mean, I thought Michael Sheen was on a great level.
It was great.
Yeah,
it was fantastic. It broke my fucking heart.
Yeah, right. No, absolutely. Yeah, the ending
broke.
No, I'm not gonna. I will not say anything.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, but no, that dude.
But fantastic.
The end credits were hard to watch. End credits were very hard to watch. That's all I'll say. The last show, and there's it's still going on. There are 2 episodes left, but if you guys aren't watching Foundation on Apple Plus, you are missing some.
Damn it! I want to watch.
You were
it.
missing.
I heard it was
you were
amazing.
missing some of the best sci-fi that has ever been put on screen. That's all. That's all I will say. Like,
that's some big words.
It is big words, but man,
it's Isaac Asimov.
It's Asimov, and it's done so well. So please, please, when you get a chance, watch Foundation. I would love to chat about this.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will get on.
Okay, I'm just Lee Pace as the Emperor.
Oh fuck! That's all you had to say.
Is
Lee Pace is in it?
Sold.
So all right.
So and this isn't giving anything away, but he plays an emperor that clones himself over and over just to stay in power. Like,
perfect.
That didn't give anything away.
No, it doesn't because the dynasty's been.
Oh yeah, never mind. I've heard of that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and it's incredible. It's so good, and this season is just. It's great. So
I don't get just one Lee Pace. I get infinite.
Yeah, exactly right. You get little test tube baby Lee Paces that you can
all the age groups are
that you can activate whenever you need.
Excellent.
And that will end the watch list.
Not so fast, Spider-Man. I got a couple more.
Okay,
to add to
all
that.
right. Thanks.
So yeah, just to address the COVID in the room.
Oh yeah.
The reason we have been gone for so long is I had the fucking COVID.
Right, Nate got the Rones.
3 fucking weeks.
Yeah.
And I still haven't recovered from
Jesus.
it. These beers are actually the first beers I've had in over a month. Like it just ended up being dry August because I was sick the whole time.
Sucks.
And I'm still not recovered. My battery has been drained like irreparably, I think, at this point. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, so that's why we haven't been around. So sorry guys for the gaps there and having to reschedule. And thank you all for being very accommodating and all that.
Yeah,
especially for the last minute shit. It's been a rough month. Anyway, so all that being said, after the initial horrible week, thank God I had some of that Paxlovid that really helped with the symptoms.
Yeah.
I was able to actually watch some TV instead of just sleep all day and feel like I was dying. Bunch of stuff that I watched streaming wise. So I caught up on all of Lower Decks.
Nice.
I then obviously caught up on all of the I think I was whole season behind on Strange New Worlds.
Okay.
So
yeah,
did Lower Decks first and then did the Strange New Worlds, which is amazing.
Good. Yeah.
I'm watching The Lioness right now.
Okay.
With it's not Tandy Newton. It's who's the actress that plays Gamora? Fucking
oh god. Tip of my tongue.
Really?
Maybe not.
Zoe Saldana. Fucking
Yes.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Okay, my brain. See, COVID brain. It's a real thing.
What's our excuse?
Yeah, none.
Yeah. Age. I'm kidding. Really. Yeah, so that is fucking insane. So it's basically like she's a handler for a black ops team, basically.
Oh wow.
And she recruits this, and she recruits women, lionesses, that they basically embed with friends of high priority assassination targets to try and get close to them.
Oh wow.
So it's fucking intense and so crazy, like deep dive into the world of like special operations and wet work and all of the political underpinnings and the blowback when things go sideways. Like they had to have a meeting at the White House at 2 a.m. with like the Secretary of State. Like it just so it's got like action and intrigue and political bullshit and all of the like weaponry and cool stuff that comes with it. So that's really good. That's still going actually right now. My Adventures with Superman.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I got to catch up on this.
Jesus Christ. I'm only a couple episodes in, but fuck, it's anime Superman cartoon.
Right.
Basically. Anime inspired, so like the big eyes and all that.
Right.
But then also the really cool action, like power-up sequences and action points and that kind of stuff has been really good. I think I'm only 3 or 4 episodes into it.
Yeah.
But it's really fun. So definitely worth a watch there. And they're short episodes too. I think they're made for TV.
Right. Yeah.
Obviously The Witcher was amazing.
Oh,
I know we kind of closed that on the last one, but ended really well. They really, I don't know how you fuck up so bad to let Henry Cavill walk away from that show.
Right.
Because The Witcher for real.
But we get him as Highlander, maybe.
That's true.
That's as far as I know, that's moving forward. And then he's also going to be in the MCU at some point. I think Captain Britain is what they're looking at him for, which would be a little on the nose.
How long has that rumor been out there?
Well, it's been out there forever because people wanted him in the MCU, but now that DC fucked up and we're replacing him, we're going to steal him. We're taking your guy. Sorry. There's a little segue. So Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, is in a movie called Heart of Stone.
Oh, yeah. We watched this.
Netflix.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
It was.
She's actually a super badass in that movie, which worked out pretty good. And it's not a bad story either.
No, it really isn't.
Those movies can be a little weird, but hey, kiddo, how you doing? Sorry, we're running a little late. Let's see what else. Streaming wise, I think that kind of is about it for the streaming stuff. Oh, well, I'll talk Marvel in a minute. Just a quick aside. I just saw, wow, that was really loud. What was that? Drive by?
Right.
Oh, that was on me.
Oh, cheers.
Oh, okay.
No, it's all good. So if you guys know me, obviously, but I'm a huge movie fan and tend to go to a lot of movies, especially with Addie, and I wasn't able to go to one for 5 weeks or so, 6 weeks. We actually just went and saw our first movie in forever and saw the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
That was really
good. And it's fucking good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
No spoilers at all.
Yeah.
It's, a Seth Rogen joint. And it's co-written by Eastman and Laird, who created the Turtles. It's amazing.
It's really well done.
Such an homage to the original Turtle stuff, but then they have teenagers actually voicing and playing the Turtles.
Yeah.
Like it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's so pitch perfect. It's like what Into the Spider-Verse, but Turtleverse, basically.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it owes a lot to Into the Spider-Verse but the animation style is
it's excellent.
So distinct.
Yeah,
and just the acting and the script and everything is just, and the soundtrack is fucking insane.
Yes.
Like go look it up on Spotify. The soundtrack is banging. It's so good.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see, what else do I have here? And then just a couple of video game notes. So thankfully, because I was dead with COVID for a long time, I had a lot of free time, and when I was able to play games, I mainlined Baldur's Gate 3 like 130 hours. I don't know. I'd have to check my Steam thing. Oh yeah.
And you're giving me crap for watching so much TV.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, we all make our choices, all right? But you chose Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I chose the best video game ever made.
I mean, he had COVID. There was an excuse there.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, but Baldur's Gate 3 is game of the year in my opinion, hands down, and is to the point where it's so good that other developers are like warning people that they won't be able to replicate it.
Wow.
And there's been some really cool like inside. Yeah, that's a big thing.
Big words with Mortal Kombat coming around the corner here.
Oh please, there is no way, unless Mortal Kombat like creates a portal into our actual world, there is no way it's going to get anywhere close to game of the year after Baldur's Gate.
Hey,
okay? It's a fighting game,
even with Megan Fox playing Natara.
Yeah, I mean, kidding. Especially because they put Megan
right,
Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stuff they were able to accomplish. It did take a long time, and they were in early access forever.
Yeah,
and they were well funded. And had studios in 3 different spots around the world, so they could work 24 hours a day.
Oh, geez, that's crazy.
Well, not really. Think about it. You have a team in Malaysia. Once they're done with their work, the team in Canada picks it up when they start working.
Right.
So they can test it, and then the Malaysia people know if it works. The next day they come in.
Yeah.
And then you have a third crew that's in between. So you're basically developing on a constant loop. The things they were able to do with this game are fucking mind-bending. Like, yeah. It's entirely voice acted, and it's probably one of the largest like worlds that you can be in as far as like the density of people and creatures and all of that.
Yeah,
like the spells that there's like 600 spells in this game from D&D.
Yeah,
one of which is speak with animals, and so because they did that, they had to script every single animal in the game.
Oh my goodness.
Like actual voice, like like dialogue and dialogue trees, so you can speak to the squirrel, you can speak to the pigeon, you can speak there's a hairless cat called His Majesty, and when you speak to him, he just says, I say hiss. Go away. Like that kind of shit. It's
spoilers,
right?
Yeah,
no,
it's
funny.
Not really a spoiler.
That's funny.
You should absolutely, if you have a chance to play this game, you should absolutely.
I want to play this game so bad.
It's so fucking good. I'm a third of the way through my second playthrough, actually. The first.
Good grief.
Well,
wait,
so there's
like 70 hours.
I'm more than that. Yeah, way more than that.
It's
it's like the best D&D game ever made, and it's also one of the best overall games ever made. It's fucking insane. But the way they set it up is you've got, I think there's 6 like origin characters that have their own adventure scripted off, right?
Okay.
And then you can create your own as a separate thing. That doesn't have any scripting. It's just, but you create your own, you pick your race and class and go from there. But then there's one that they added towards the end called the Dark Urge, which is basically turns the game into a horror movie.
Oh, wow.
Where you black out and people are dead and you have to figure out what the fuck is going on, like that kind of stuff. So it turns the game completely on its head. So definitely don't play that first.
Yeah.
Because that's not the game.
I'm totally gonna play that first.
Yeah, this is my evil playthrough, right. So I chose the Dark Urge, and I'm like biting people's hands off and shit because I'm a dragonborn with fucking teeth. Anyway, yeah. So that game is can't be overstated. It's fucking insane, and the character creator alone, you'll spend 3 hours in. It's fucking nuts. You have 3 different highlights for your hair, Joe.
Oh my goodness.
Like, you could make Molly Mock basically because they have tieflings in it. Anyway, that and then Starfield.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I want to play that.
I know,
so
it looks
bad.
so good.
Man, so
this is what prompted my post about like, okay, I need to get a fucking
well, and that's why I was
Series
telling
X.
you that look on Facebook Marketplace. I got a wicked deal. It got like half price for a machine that was made last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because somebody just needed to get rid of it because they needed the
cash.
cash.
I've been looking.
Yeah, so if I see another one pop up, because I've got Google alerts, I think, that are still configured for it, I'll let you know. Because it came with a pro controller and like a bunch of pre-installed shit. So
nice.
And it thankfully, knock on wood, it's legit and not stolen and all that.
Yeah.
Gotta check the serial numbers and stuff. Anyway, so I got early access with Starfield, and it starts off super slow, and it's weird. Okay, let me back up. If Baldur's Gate 3 didn't exist, I would be raving about Starfield.
Sure.
The problem is that Baldur's Gate 3 like pushed video games forward so much with like some of the mechanics, and they innovated so much in this game that going to Starfield is basically like, okay, I played Baldur's Gate 3 in 2023, and now I'm going to back up and play Skyrim in space.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Because the graphics are kind of like an older fidelity. The systems are kind of older systems that are established, and Bethesda, which is what you play the Bethesda games for.
Right.
But that being said, it's a very slow start. It took me a while to get into it. Once you start getting through some of the main quest points and stop getting distracted by the scope of it, because it's gigantic.
Yeah.
You start going through some of these quests, and they're really fun. They're very intense. Like, I was playing it. I didn't really have much time to play it the last couple of days, but I was playing it last night, I think, night before. And I just randomly was going to this planet because it had some resources that I needed. And I kind of warped in, and because of one of the traits I picked, which is a wanted, you get to pick 3 traits for your character when you make it. But one of the traits I picked is wanted, and that basically means you have bounty hunters showing up once in a while to try and collect on your bounty. And this is the second time I'd run into them. The first time I had to pay them off because I tried to fight them and they destroyed me. But then I went through this specific quest line and got this badass ship for free for becoming a, whatever guy. I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay.
For getting through this quest line. And the same guys showed up and tried to shake me down again. And this time I just obliterated them. And I forget why I was going there. Warping to the planet. Yeah, maybe that was it.
Okay.
Fuck.
All right.
I forget where I was headed with that. Anyway, so it's those kind of moments that are starting to pop up.
Sure.
Now that I'm kind of like, I've passed, I think, like the intro space, like the intro missions and that kind of thing. And now they're starting to open up the scope a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's moving a little bit quicker. Oh, the experience I had today. So I warped into that planet after I killed the pirates. They had actually disabled a gigantic armored transport from like one of the weapons manufacturers that are in this game.
Uh-huh.
And it was completely like scuttled. I could dock with it and go on board. There was nobody. I couldn't hail anybody. There was nobody. And then like your NPC companion that's with you is like, well, maybe we can figure out what's going on with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden gravity stops.
Oh.
Like, so I'm floating all of the like paper cups and digipads and ammunition, all those stuff that you can gather, like the loots that you get from Bethesda games is in this game, but like times 20.
Oh,
you
wow.
will max out on your carry capacity in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Anyway, so everything starts floating. So like I'm in the mess hall of this giant spacecraft, and there's like old food trays and just shit everywhere. And then pirates bust in out of nowhere and start trying to take me out. In the meantime, I'm in 0G with a minigun getting pushed backwards by this minigun, getting pushed backwards by the kick of the minigun. The physics in the game are actually really good. So that was like a really cool cinematic moment that happened just randomly because I decided to board this ship.
Sure.
On my way to, mine, uranium or whatever the fuck it was.
Right.
So yeah, there's like 8 mini games, I guess, inside this giant game. And it gets better the more I play.
Nice.
It's a slow start, but definitely stick with
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Cool.
There it is.
All right.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marvel Minute?
Oh shit. I forgot about that. We'll make it super fast.
The Marvel half minute.
Let's see. MCU pulled Ironheart off its list. They released a like potential list of their phase 5 stuff. So Echo got pushed to Jan 2024. X-Men 97 got pushed to early 2024. Agatha, the Darkhold Diaries. What the fuck? That sounds like the Vampire Diaries.
Right.
Got pushed to fall 2024. And then Daredevil and Wonder Man, which are both in process, have both been like pushed and no release window at this point. So obviously those are TBD dates because of the strike. We're not sure how long that's going to take.
Right.
But everything's basically on hold at this point. What If Season 2, they're targeting Christmas Day 2023 for that. So that should be amazing. The first one was awesome, so I can't wait for that. Jessica Jones confirmed for Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah.
So Kristen Ritter's coming back. Hopefully that means we'll get the rest of the crew, not Iron Fist, but the rest of the crew,
Right.
like Luke Cage back on the docket there. Apparently the Echo series that's coming out here shortly will have a ton of Daredevil and Kingpin and Jessica Jones. It's basically like a vehicle to get you to the Daredevil series.
Okay.
Is what it looks like. I Am Groot season 2
Nice.
is available today.
Oh, that's great.
All 6 episodes. It looks cute as fuck.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
First season was great.
The Loki trailers that are dropping lately have been fucking insane.
Oh,
and
yeah.
really great. Season 2 drops on October 6th. The most recent one is Loki finds Sylvie working at an 80s McDonald's.
Right.
Which is fucking great. I love it so much. Can't wait for that. We had Secret Invasion finale, I think, while we were out too, right? Or I don't remember the days on that. But there's going to be a lot of shakedown because of what was revealed in that.
Yeah.
With Rhodey being a Skrull the whole time, and basically they're confirming that he was a Skrull since Civil War, since Vision shot him out of the sky,
right?
And they put him in hospital robes, and that's what they rescued him in, were those same hospital robes,
right.
apparently.
Yeah.
So that means the Infinity War saga, everything that happened after Civil War, he was a Skrull. So they're going to have a tough pull because there's an Armor Wars movie coming up with Don Cheadle in it.
Right.
So I think that Armor Wars movie it's supposed to handle the fallout of Rhodey being a Skrull.
Okay.
So, and all of the Iron Man tech that got disseminated because of that. So we'll see what happens. A lot of people died in that show. So
yeah,
rip Maria Hill, Agent Ross, and Talos. And that's all I got for the Marvel Minute.
Okay.
It's getting late.
I'll speed up the Marvel theme and just put it in front. Anyway, all right. So what did you guys think of Ahsoka so far? Let us know in the comments. You can find us on Facebook at the Rum and Regret Podcast. You can also find us on Twitter at rum_regret. Joe, where can they find you?
At Joe Chickadee on the socials or at joechickadee.com.
Nate, where can they find you?
Sure. Avid Gamer, AV1D Gamer on all the socials and your gaming platforms of choice. Unfortunately, Starfield isn't multiplayer. Otherwise, I'd say bring it.
You'll see him online playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Starfield's got me for now.
Right.
There's a bunch coming out.
Yeah.
It's going to be a banger fourth quarter.
Yeah. No, next week it's going to be all me in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
You can find me at Crazy Drake on Facebook, Andrew Drake on Twitter, and until the next time, we have spoken.
Anakin spoke highly of you. Come on, Joe. That was your cue. Where's the snip? Come on. Hey, Snips.